Absolute delete,
Delete.
delete, delete, delete.
Yes, it's been a while. Of course, we're back live on my channel for seems like forever for In the Hot Seat Live. Yes, a couple of things, and of course, as always with this, I am not alone. I got at this time, we got brother Chris. What's going on, man? I knew you'd come.
Yeah. Yes, I have returned to the in the hot seat with the Fortminorproject, brother David.
All right, and of course, we also got brother Dylan with
Brother
us.
Dylan, Page guy, Bailey guy, Anti-Eva guy, Rafael Leduc here to entertain you on in the hot seat.
In the hot
And
seat.
as always, yes, we got brother Simon. What's going on, man?
I help you with the Google thing. You know,
Yeah,
David was
me
a
too.
little rusty when it comes to that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
fortunately, that's what happens now. Google wants to
Yeah,
mess
man.
up shit, whole bunch of changes, but nonetheless, we're here
We're here.
time, so gotta jump right down into it with a couple
Hey,
of stuff that I
can you, for those of you that forgot about this, and just for Paige guys' pleasure, allow me to do a little something.
Give him this fucking sound effects. Just
It
wait till
was
he
just
gets
for
to
Paige
talking
guy,
about
because I don't
Charlotte.
know if you guys saw the last time we did something, but yeah, we had some fun with that, so I had
for
to
a
do it.
couple of minutes or so.
Hey, how long? How long till we hear the noise for the Queen?
Oh, hail
Okay,
the Queen!
wrong one, idiot.
That wasn't the right one, right?
Wow.
There you go.
Wrong one.
I refuse to get into Charlotte, but that'd be the day.
Okay, so this
I will
thing is
never
already
get
a
into
goddamn
Charlotte. That's a
train wreck.
promise I keep to you, David. I will never ever get into Charlotte. I am the president
I
of
try,
anti-Charlotte.
Okay. All right.
but it happens. But anyway,
So, any news, ladies and gentlemen?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about whatever David brought us here to talk about.
Yeah, so
TNA.
anyway, we're gonna get right into that. The main thing that's been going on, especially now with WWE possibly buying out TNA. Of course, there's been rumors going about this. We'll see who's going to be the potential buyer. If it's going to be definitely Mr. McMahon, like we seen a long time ago with WCW and stuff like that. So a lot to really go into this. Especially could this be the final time for TNA since TNA Bound for Glory is this Sunday and everything. So we'll go ahead and round with the discussion on this. A lot to get into it. So, Chris, your thoughts on this whole entire thing overall?
Well, I think it's kind of a big mess personally, but I was watching Connor, aka OK Fabe, earlier today, and he was speculating about some of the news, and he was saying that potentially, the thing is they need to have a definite answer by tomorrow as far as what's going to happen. If nothing can be resolved tomorrow, then you may as well kiss Bound for Glory down the toilet. And I really believe that uh, you know um, I hope this isn't it, and I do hope that this can be resolved because we need the competition, and I think while TNA doesn't exactly pull in the big numbers, and WWE on the decline, I think it's important to have that competition. But as far as Vince McMahon trying to buy it, I completely doubt that 100. I mean, I completely doubt it, to be honest. I don't think he'll buy TNA. And if he did, it's just for the library that they have to put on the WWE network and to say, hey, we put somebody else out of business. But I really believe that, Billy Corgan's worth $40 million, from what I understand,
Mhm.
and I feel that Billy Corgan is going to play a huge role with his budget, his bank account, and to help save TNA. And so
There's an echo.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Scott. All right, so from there we'll go to on Mr. Leduc. Your thoughts overall?
Well, the reports have been coming out as of late that one, if TNA does not get a deal done by tomorrow, Bound for Glory is fucked. TNA is fucked in general. I know there's talks Billy Corgan. There's a lot of talks of the talent wanting Billy Corgan to own TNA, but there's many other buyers. And supposedly the one general thing people can agree on, he's not just Billy Corgan owning TNA, but his Dixie Carter is fucking up the sale. There's been reports coming out that Dixie Carter is not doing business right. She's being an idiot. She's being messy. She's messing everything up. And that's pissing TNA talent more and more off. And that's pushing away potential buyers. Now, how long until we actually get an answer? We'll know tomorrow. But if we don't get an answer, or they just push, we'll get something done by Saturday, or we'll get something done by Sunday, and Sunday's the limit, because if they don't get money by Bound for Glory, I mean, matches have been canceled, flights coming into Orlando have been canceled, so people wrestling from out of North America are not going to wrestle. Reports going on that Drew Galloway is off Impact Wrestling, off Bound for Glory now from his match against Damian Sandow / Aaron Rex. So all in all, honestly, this is like Old Yeller. The horse is dead. The horse is sick. Take that sumbitch out behind the barn and put the 12 gauge to its head. End the misery. I understand.
Wow.
Wow.
I understand Chris's point of we need competition, but to me, you have New Japan Pro Wrestling. There's a lot of North American fans follow the Japanese scene. A lot of North American fans love Ring of Honor. So, there's still those two. Of course, they're not major like, TNA was at one point, but TNA now is, like I'm saying, I'm honestly tired about speculating about TNA. Just
shall we say, just
put her down. Just bite the bullet, put her down. Let's move on with our lives.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no, like I said, no potential. Take it out and then be over with, but fortunately it's crazy that there is a pay-per-view this Sunday and people might not even get to see it or even work for it and stuff. So on the other hand, I do understand, WWE might want to buy them for the library, put it on the network and stuff like that possibly. So only time will tell. Until tomorrow, we'll see what happens, but other than that, Simon, your thoughts?
Well, it's pretty ironic when it comes to me, just how when they say there's a pay-per-view on Sunday, like TNA hasn't been relevant on pay-per-view since like 2013, 2014. Even then, that's like, and the thing is just, it's sad, you know what I mean? If it goes to the point where TNA is done, first of all, we've heard rumors for a long ass time, but I didn't think it was going to be over. I didn't think that it was going to be that bad, that it was this big of a deal, and that Billy Corgan, out of all people, had to fucking fund the company. I mean, if it's that bad of a financial, problem, then shit. I mean, I'd say if I was Dixie, because the thing is that was reported was that Dixie was going to make the best decision for herself, basically. If I was Dixie, I would just call Vince, Stephanie, Triple H, whatever, and say, you know what? Here's the price I want. Here's the library. You get to acquire all the matches from AJ. You get to acquire all the matches from Samoa Joe. Sting. You know what I mean? You have all this money. That's all yours. You know what I mean? Perhaps if they can buy the contract from several of their stars, maybe it would be interesting. But to me, it's sad. That's the biggest thing is I find it to be sad that it would be over for TNA at this point. Have I been the biggest TNA fan? Fuck no. You know what I mean? I've lost interest in TNA since AJ left TNA. I've said that thousandth time. But to think that it's going to be over, it's just something. And I was, I had interest in what the Hardy Boys were doing. You know what I mean? The Matt Hardy, the broken Matt Hardy gimmick was interesting. There was a lot of time. Did I sit down and watch a whole show of TNA? No, but did I watch a couple videos on their YouTube when it was uploaded? The day after Impact, sure. So it's just I'm going back to that because that's really what it is. Is it sad? It's going to put a lot of people out of work, and that's just what it is. But I'm hoping for the sake of the business that Vince is the one that hands up, with the videotape library, because I feel like he can display it in the right way. And rest in peace, TNA, if that's the case. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think really,
Yeah,
really with what it all boils down to too is, and I guess you couldn't even really say that Vince did it, like a lot of people will be quick to jump the gun and say
TNA did it.
And Vince buried TNA. No, he didn't. He didn't do anything to TNA up until this point. If he buys it, he buys it. Great. But going back to what you said, Simon, it is sad because like it took a little bit for the broken Matt Hardy gimmick and the whole Brother Nero thing to get on. For me to like it. It took me a little bit. But the more I watched it, the more I'm like, this shit is freaking cool. Like it is entertaining as all hell. And the thing is, and I like so many people in TNA. And just when Cody Rhodes arrives in TNA with his wife, and then you have this new girl that I know really nothing about, this Laurel Vaness, and but really really the biggest superstars in there, guys like Bobby Lashley, the Drew Galloway, EC3. I like the DK. I like Rosemary. I like Crazy Steve. I like Abyss. So many people I still like in that company. Mike Bennett, I was so happy when he went to TNA. Now, if I don't know what's going to happen, if TNA does go under, if he's going to go back to ROH or if he's going to go try and join NXT. It's up in the air, and if he goes to, like, let's say NXT, would Maria go with him? Would they allow her back? Because I think there's a rumor that I heard that she had a problem with the Bella twins at one point. But the biggest thing I wanted to mention coming out of this is Connor mentioned a tweet by Broken Matt Hardy saying, I know where I'm going to be on Monday night. Is Broken Matt Hardy going to be a part of WWE again? I'd like to see. I think that's.
I think you would. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I would love to see it happen, and I think it'd be something that's really cool. And but I don't know if Jeff Hardy would be allowed back. But we'll just have to wait and see. But it is definitely a sad thing. I agree with what Simon said.
My biggest thing too is well, go ahead, Paige. I'll let you do it.
The thing with also, like, I understand the point, like, you guys kind of like I was really brutal with saying, just end it. But there's a lot of these people from TNA that could go back to WWE. The new girl you said joined, Chris, I believe was actually Chelsea from Tough Enough. The girl that came in as a replacement. She's the girl that was Daniel Bryan's therapist on TV.
Yeah.
When Stephanie had her come out and say that she slept with Daniel. So I do feel like a lot of wrestlers could be good in WWE. Like Mike Bennett, I put him in NXT. Put Maria in NXT. The Bellas have shit to do with NXT. So, a lot of these guys, you just keep them in Florida, keep them in NXT. If I was WWE, I'd make not only the deal for the library, but for some of those contracts. Not do like, and make sure that you can get some of those contracts. Not like when WCW came out and a lot of these big wrestlers had contracts with Turner and not with World Championship Wrestling. Make sure you get a lot of these wrestlers who have contracts with Impact and not whoever owns TNA. Well, I don't know what the mother company is called right now. You can go ahead, Simon.
Yeah. So for me, if I do a quick recap, really, you
Sure.
know, for Abyss, you know, to me, Abyss is pretty much past his prime, and I don't really see how WWE would
This
want
is a bit
him. You know, so I
difficult.
wouldn't care personally. Um, Sandow, I would get him back. You know what I mean? I would just allow him to be back in WWE. Graham,
I don't
perhaps
know.
give him a shot on NXT if WWE wants him or not. I don't know. Jeff
Bram is no
Hardy
longer
for
under
sure.
contract.
Graham is no longer under contract.
No, I think he's gone.
Well, he
What is
still
it?
appears
Oh yeah.
on the roster, so I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, and the last time I
I
know,
think the Hardys are.
Oh, go ahead, David. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, as far as the Hardy Boys are concerned, I think they'll definitely come back, and hopefully they have like the whole stable as a whole and keep it that way. I think that'd be very entertaining, since I've seen them in a different indie show before and stuff. So wherever they go, and especially if they keep it up as that, it'd be.
To me, if it's a contract purchase situation like WCW, I feel like possibly not Matt because he's really hot right now. But I see Jeff Hardy, you know, basically sitting out until the remainder of his contract. I definitely see him just getting the money that he was promised and just sitting at home and not doing nothing. If his contract stipulate that. But again, going back to what I was saying, guys like James
Yeah.
Storm, you know, get him on WWE. Very rarely do you see someone, you know, leave WWE and be even better outside of WWE. Guys like Heaton Carter III, you know what I mean? Definitely successful
He's
outside
done.
WWE.
Yeah.
Way better outside WWE than he's been in
Yeah.
WWE. Lashley, personally, I would just have
Oh,
him
yeah.
go on Bellator, and I wouldn't give a flying fuck about Lashley. That's just me. Mike Bennett, you know, to me, if I would bank on those guys, if I was WWE, the only guys I would legit be interested would be Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, James Storm, Eden Carter III, and Mike Bennett, if I didn't mention him already. You know what I mean? So that would be it. And Sandow, I could do without even. You know what I mean? I think he can do something else, Sandow. So that'd be me. That'd be what I would do.
Yeah, and let's not forget
Yeah.
about the guys like Eddie Edwards and DJ Zeke.
Oh, yeah, the Wolves, they would be a great fit. Hopefully, they would be able to get a chance to come back. I know they were at NXT a while back doing their
Wolves
thing for
burned
a
their
little
bridge
while.
with WWE. They've burned their bridge with WWE. They didn't want to stay on NXT. They fucked it up, man. So as far as I'm concerned, if you have too much of an ego to say, "Oh, I'm gonna stay in NXT," I don't. You know, they didn't want to stay with NXT. So as far as I'm concerned, they burned their bridge. You know what I mean? Get the fuck
Yeah.
out. Like I don't care about them. That's just my personal opinion. Might not be popular, but that's my opinion. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Cheap pop.
Nice pitch.
Hashtag
Yeah.
cheap pop.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as that's concerned, I mean, I do see like a good chunk of the roster, at least half of them, going over to WWE, just the ones that we mentioned, and like Decay, a couple of guys like that. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see by tomorrow, see what that brings, and said they'll have a actually good enough buyer. If not, then we'll see. Because I actually been watching TNA for the longest time now, since about 2006 was the first time I actually started watching when Kurt Angle, guys like that were there. So definitely times have been changing each and every time with that. So
Yeah, man.
you start to see.
I went. You went to what? Like 2, 3 TNA events? You've went to one of
There was a
the
couple of house
live
shows.
impact.
Right, yeah, I went to a couple of house shows. I got to meet some people, got some autographs. It was a really cool experience. Also, I went to the show where Sting returned, and that was here at the Crown Complex too in Fayetteville, where me and Chris will be going pretty soon in November. So that was actually really cool to see that. I got to see Sting there, obviously. So Mickey there, a couple of other people, a good majority of the roster too, and that was like a double taping for like the past 2 weeks there that they were doing that for.
Yeah, for me, you know, the show that I went to in 2011, was just a great show, great fan experience. You know, got to meet Scott Steiner, which that's another thing we didn't even address about TNA is the lawsuit they have against them. You know what I mean? Like Bischoff has a lawsuit against TNA for what he was promised on his contract and what was what got delivered to him. Steiner has still a lawsuit against TNA. I bet that's like a few out of many. But again, going back, my experience out of TNA, you know, great experience, great interaction with a bunch of them. You know what I mean? With a bunch of wrestlers, Steiner, Bobby Roode, James Storm. You know
Yeah,
what
they
I mean?
definitely.
AJ Style met AJ there, so it's just and that's just one thing is and Page Guy will attest to that. You know what I mean? Like where the fuck I'm from, it's like a little shithole for TNA to come here. You know what I mean? And I slept in my own bed that same day, that same night. That was insane. You know what I mean? When I heard they were coming, I was like, the fuck, the fuck out of that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah,
I legit supported TNA. I wasn't like the biggest supporter, especially in the last few years, but I purchased pay-per-views before. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of DVDs from TNA, so
Yeah, I do too with those brown
just
bag specials and everything.
the biggest thing is it goes right back to what I was saying earlier. It's a sad situation that this would be the end for TNA, and I think everybody, you know what I mean, was you know help TNA the best we could, but at the end of the day, TNA's worst enemy was TNA. Sadly, you know what I mean. Dixie and
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the politics
Yeah.
behind the scene, but the lack of leadership. You know what I mean. The bad decision. You want to talk about this bad
Biggest
decision,
issue.
bringing Hogan in, Bischoff in. That didn't help TNA at all. Like that's basically when TNA started shitting. You know when we started failing. So.
Yeah.
Again, but that's just the negative side. If we're about to lose TNA and this is the end of an era and TNA is about to die, rest in peace TNA, and we hope to remember the good times. Let the
Yeah.
credit roll.
Because I'll
To me, I mean, definitely. Go ahead.
Oh, because I was going to say, because I'll never forget the one little house show that I went to back in 2013.
Oh yeah, that
It
was
was that outdoor venue at the Red Hat Amphitheater in Raleigh.
Right.
Getting to meet Jeff Hardy and Mickey James for free earlier in the day, and then going to the show, early evening, and it was a nice, beautiful evening. It wasn't that packed. It felt like an indie show, but it was fun. It was interactive, where some of the wrestlers, they came out and you could get their autographs. People like Magnus and Eric Young and ODB and Rob Terry and Robbie E. Gail Kim came out to sign autographs, and and they all did it for free, and it was awesome. It was a very cool, laid back show, and it's just something that you don't forget. It was a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I feel like the house shows were a lot more fun, but at least going to that, basically, if you want to call it, 2 TV tapings, hey, that was cool. Very first time doing that. I would like to have gone to more, but unfortunately, yes, TNA has had its ups and downs and everything like that. I feel like the early years of TNA were definitely awesome. Probably one of the better moments and a lot of cool, unique stuff that we have seen out of TNA, especially with
Christian
Matt
Cage
Stickler.
years.
Years definitely was some awesome. Some of the best of Christian's work there too. Not just with him, but just as a whole, with the whole roster and everything between AJ, Samoa Joe, and all these other guys that we were able to see that we haven't seen before, and to see that alternative was really interesting to see. So,
and hashtag don't mess with Tess.
yeah,
Team
I remember
Dixie.
But yeah, I think we pretty much covered the basis of TNA.
Let's have a minute of silence for TNA wrestling.
He shoots. He misses. Crap. TNA.
And with that, I say, as we say it on my streaming channel for my gaming channel, blame the Duke on that one.
Oh, that was blame to David.
Let's have one last round of applause for TNA.
Let's give one more middle finger to TNA.
Oh, brother.
Wow.
You with your goddamn middle finger. You with your goddamn middle finger. You need to be deleted.
Yes.
I need to be deleted.
Right.
Yes,
Break
because
those fingers off
TNA,
and
who
get
was
deleted.
It's supposed to be PG right now, so
But
it probably
honestly-
senses him.
Honestly, yeah, like truly, one thing that I will always keep in my mind when it comes to TNA is, when I went to the show in 2011, I went in there thinking this was going to be a bomb show, and it was going to be like, the less professional environment ever. I thought that I was going to walk in there and it was going to be like, train wreck of a show, basically, because of the reputation that TNA had. And it was very well done. The security was on point. You know what I mean? Everything was well done. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Thank God we had security too, because thank God we had security because Scott Steiner wanted to attack all of us. So thank God we had
Oh
security.
God!
Dude, it's TNA. It wasn't EC. It wasn't an ECW show.
No, but you know what I mean if you were there.
All right.
All right, what's
I
next?
guess from there, we'll go ahead to the next topic.
We've buried TNA alive.
Yeah, apparently, but we'll see what happens anyway, though. But yeah, with the next topic, in better terms, I'll try and keep it at that. Since Paige guy, you are here, I did actually want to talk about Paige, of course. Not so much the Paige and Roberto Del Rio, since we all know about that, but Paige looking to actually come back and make a return eventually soon on Raw. So that's going to be something really awesome, and it's crazy on that note of what's been happening with her. But with her returning, it's really cool. So things are looking to be on up. So with that being said, Paige guy, your thoughts on Paige returning overall?
Before Paige guy gave his thoughts, you gotta mention the neck surgery news. She announced today that she was gonna need neck surgery. So.
Oh.
No shit! Wow. Yeah, I didn't see that though. So that's kind of breaking for me.
Breaking news from Simon Eichel.
Yeah, she revealed today. If I quote her, she said, "Been quiet for a while. Time to get the next fix so I can come back and kick some ass. Thanks to Dr. Uribine. Yesterday, one of the best doctor I've seen gave me 2 great surgeries option. Makes you think about the risk you have to take when it comes to this business, the things you put your body through to entertain the masses. Still wouldn't change it for the world. Thanks to everyone for their continued support." So Paige reveals she is having neck surgery.
All right. So
her return might be not as soon as we all thought.
Well, even right now, I kind of, not to be in the awkward side, but I'm kind of, the news just came out, the new neck surgery, that's going to put some time off on that return, which is actually maybe for the best. Because if she returned right now, she'd basically be Nia Jax's punching bag. Because now the title picture is jammed up with Sasha, Bailey, and Ric Flair. So it's kind of all, there's no space for no one new. So I hope when she does come back, she comes back strong and probably in a good position. I don't want her to come back and have to, lay down to Nia Jax. I hope she comes back and she gets into the title picture. I do know it'll be kind of quick, and most people will be like, well, why is Paige a title picture? Put, most of you to put Summer Rae instead. Like, why put fucking Summer Rae? Summer Rae's like in China right now, whatever she does. So Paige away, and if it means taking time out because of neck surgery, which I hope will go well for her. Hopefully she has surgery with the people that worked with John Cena and Seth Rollins and all those guys who have had surgery too. They usually all work with the same people down in Alabama. So Yeah, I hope Paige did well. Paige guy's still here. Paige guy's still strong, and he will continue supporting Paige through thick and thin. Paige will come back and will prove not only to the boss, the hugger, and the queen that this is her, that Raw is her house, and the Women's Championship is her title. Those are my thoughts.
Well, hopefully we'll see Paige and Charlotte in the future. But anyway, Chris, your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, she's been out this long, I mean, it's really kind of at a point where, I don't know, I kind of feel like I miss her, but don't miss her. It's like, with the amount of people that you get vested in, people like Charlotte, people like Bailey, people like Sasha Banks, people like Becky Lynch, it's like, I mean, good Lord, I mean, definitely welcome Paige back whenever she comes back, and to have neck surgery, I mean, she's going to be out for another 6 to 9 months, because look how long it took Nikki Bella to return after her surgery, and I just hope everything goes well for her, and make a speedy recovery and come back, and kick some ass, and Paige scream.
Paige.
All right, indeed. All right, so then, of course, Simon, your thoughts?
Well, I am glad. I don't know what's the situation with her contract, so I don't know when exactly the contract is expiring. But I'm glad she's staying with the WWE. I'm hoping that this is not just a big ass publicity stunt where she's basically staying with the WWE to get the surgery, and once the surgery is done, she ends up leaving it. I'm hoping that won't be the case. You know what I mean? Because I don't want her to leave. I think WWE is the best place for her, and I'm hoping that whenever she returns, like Paige guy said, that the timing is right, and that we can see the Paige that we all want to see, and that's Paige, who is booked correctly. That's the biggest thing WWE is booking. You fucking bunch of dumbasses.
Get into that in a little bit.
Book Paige correctly when she returns. Book your shit correctly, because some fans out there actually cares about your product enough to sit through some shit show like we've been having lately. So that's all. Go Paige. Speedy recovery.
Definitely, hopefully. But yeah, definitely we'll be seeing Paige back soon. Wish her the best with her recovery and everything like that. So cannot wait to see her back for sure. But actually getting back more into WWE and now a little bit more how things are going with the draft, and basically in a way the state of WWE as it is as of right now since the draft, and now it's getting towards the fall. Basically we're getting towards the middle of the year and everything like that. So with that being said, overall thoughts on the state of WWE, I'll go at it as this and start things off. For me, it is that time where WWE does actually slow things down. We know that, and I know now, especially more, SmackDown has been that it show now. It hasn't been always the best as of recently, but now definitely with the draft, it definitely has changed things up since it's been live and everything. So I've been really enjoying that, and it's simple and easy to get through. With Raw, we did talk about that too, whether it be on social media and stuff like that. Raw seems to be hit or miss sometimes, and now the 3 hours has been really dragging on, I feel like. So hopefully they will cut the time again to 2 hours like SmackDown, and just keep it basic as it is with that, with the 2 hours, and then we'll see where it goes from that. But I am happy to, like, for SmackDown, they have their own pay-per-views now, like with No Mercy, things like that. I think that's pretty cool to actually see those name branded pay-per-views come back. Hopefully that will come back as a whole and get rid of some of the other stipulation pay-per-views. So that's how I feel about it as of right now for that. So a little bit mixed reactions in a way, but the draft, actually has its perks and stuff. So with that being said, we'll go back to Simon. Your thoughts overall? I know you had mixed reactions as with the draft too, mainly with Ross. So your thoughts as a whole with everything that's been going on too.
Paige guy is like dying over there. No, well,
That's your thoughts.
I'll say this. without counting before Clash of Champions, because I've had a little bit of a bad time there. You know what I mean? Before Clash of Champions, not caring about the product. I'd say since then, since the pay-per-view, I'm trying not to take everything so seriously and watch things. You know, try to get the best out of everything as hard as it can be sometimes. Because you just look at my biggest thing is this is like, for fuck's sake, we see it's so predictable, and we're like, okay, well, they should do this and they should do that, and like, we're so counting on stuff to happen that we're not enjoying the current shit. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. But it's I don't know. I'm trying to enjoy it. I really am. There's so many things that could change, that could be way better, that if they would just listen to us, it would be better. But, you know, that's not about to happen. So as a fan, I'm learning to love the taste of shit, as I say.
It's a bad thing, but I also know that. So. I'll just leave it at that. Hopefully, without any rivalries, I know Leduc too. You also stated some things. So, any other thoughts about the
This
whole
guy is
current?
cool. The only thing he hates is Charlotte. That's all.
When it comes to right now, of course, like you just said, me, Charlotte, it's.
There's the guy who said, "Come out for an autograph. We want just one picture."
Yes, because at that time I was a fan, but now I'm no longer a fan. And at that time you did not like her, but then when she turned heel, you got your boner. So it's stuff that happens.
Once you keep watching,
the tweet, thank you for coming tonight, Charlotte. We enjoyed watching you, Charlotte.
I never said I enjoyed watching her. I didn't even see her after the show, dumbass.
I wish I could pull. Yes, it did. Well, you didn't
No,
see her.
you
didn't see her after the show, but you tweeted her. That's what I said.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I didn't even tweet her at that time. At that time, I wasn't even on Twitter. You were bitching at me to get back on Twitter. Says the guy who tells me to get on like Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, but he gets off.
Tweet. I'll find the fucking tweet.
Can you screenshot that too?
I don't know.
But with that said, the thing with the current product right now is people that living in the past, like Simon, who, you know, all they think about is how good stuff was back then and how their ideas are the only one that's good. I agree that I'm like him. I can say my ideas are better than whatever they say, but not everyone agrees with my ideas. Not everyone's gonna say, "Yeah, Raph, let's do this or let's do that." No, we're gonna say, "No, let's do this instead. Let's do that instead." You know, there's people right now that actually enjoy the New Day for some reason. There's actually people that enjoy seeing Nia Jax destroy people. There's people that seem to enjoy seeing the club lose all the time. There's people that enjoy seeing Charlotte having 2 overdone title reigns because reasons. You know, there's people that enjoy that stuff, and there's people that don't. So we can complain, we can bitch, we can insult, we can do whatever the hell we want. But at the end of the day, WWE is doing what they think is best, which is wrong at times, but sometimes is well done. Now, there is positives out of this. SmackDown, honestly, to it as a whole, is a positive. 2 hours, well booked, not always starting with the goddamn general managers in the ring to start talking a huge promo about how everything they do is best for business, which is ironic. We don't have, you know, SmackDown, you know, everyone gets their chunk of time. Everyone gets their matches. You know, the women will get their matches. You know, the Alexa Becky feud gets its time. The Nikki Carmella feud gets its time. The title feud gets its time. Miz and Ziggler, it gets its time. You get what I'm getting here to. While, you know, you don't have like these hour slots, which is, you know, Braun Strowman squishing someone for no reason. You know, we don't have this 30-minute ad.
I think it has purpose in a way with each segment and match and stuff.
Yeah, you know, everything actually matters for once. If you you don't end up watching and then, take an example, the triple threat they had. Why the fuck did you do a triple threat match when Sasha was going to get her rematch anyways? Then in the end you have the double pin finish, and then most people are going to say, oh, they're going to announce Bayley into the match like later. It's going to be a surprise. Well, no, they wait till next week. They could have taken like a 30-minute, ad for WWE 2K17 and actually put that in. SmackDown manages its time well. If Raw managed its time well, if Raw managed its storylines well, if Raw managed its booking well. One thing Simon loves to tell me about is like, oh, WWE dropped the ball because Triple H didn't show up. Triple H didn't show up. He's right. You have Triple H show up for one night and have him run off and book NXT in fucking Las Vegas. It doesn't make sense. Make him come back. We know he's there. We know he's backstage. We know he's with the NXT guys.
He posted a picture. He posted a picture of him being backstage.
Yeah, exactly. We know he's backstage, but then you don't make him come out. Make him come out.
Like, that's insulting our intelligence.
My point is, Raw needs to manage its time better, needs to make its feuds not stretch out so much and not be sometimes so thin, and SmackDown is an actually good show. So, hey, it's like the only show. When Monday comes on, it's Monday night, I'm like, oh, crap, Raw's tonight. Oh, God, am I going to watch? Like, hey, SmackDown's tonight. I'm going to watch it tonight. So, with that said, Raw, thumbs down, like 2 thumbs down, SmackDown, thumbs up.
Okay, so I want to add a little something before we move on to Chris. First of all, Paige Guys' tweet, I actually found it back. So it was on September 18, 2015. And I quote, Mrs. Charlotte, you were amazing tonight. Hope you love being here at the Montreal.
At the Montreal? I don't even spell that badly.
No, yeah, you said at the MTL. But like a weird smiley face.
You see, but shit changes. You want me to pull up
the next tweet after that, you're asking Kevin Owens for a Misha Thurs.
Since we're doing that, Chris is there. You want me to pull up his old quote?
No. But I did find it funny that you asked Kevin Owens for a Misha Thurs. That's really funny to me.
Yeah, because
anyhow.
Let's go on to Chris.
So we're the only two ones understanding this joke right now, so we're going to move on. But I just find this really funny. One thing I got to add before we move on to Chris. One thing I really love when it comes to WWE, and I want to give them props, and I hope this really comes true, is what Daniel Bryan is doing. Basically, recruiting talent between Raw and SmackDown. As far as I'm concerned, fuck contracts. Like, if a superstar is not, well booked on Raw, or they're finished booking him on Raw, have him jump to SmackDown. You know what I mean? In a couple of weeks, they should do that with Cesaro or Sheamus. I don't care. One or the other should move to SmackDown. The club, they fucked up the club legitimately by having them lose 2 times to the New Day, and the New Day is going to be the champions. So have the club go to SmackDown and back up AJ and retain the championship at the fucking pay-per-view and go from there. You know what I mean? That's what I would love for them to do. And a couple star like Bray Wyatt, he should jump to Raw at some point. You know what I mean?
All right.
And Randy Orton should lose that damn shirt that he has because it looks weird nowadays. But that's just me.
What shirt? The hoodie?
Yeah, the hoodie shirt. He looks weird with that shit. Stop wearing this. And he's wearing tap-out gear under it. It just looks weird. Anyhow.
Hey, he's supporting the WWE. He's supporting the brand.
Well, support it in the airport. Don't support it in the
support it in the airport.
It's probably cold in the arena, so you want to wear the hoodie.
Yeah, it's cold in the arena.
Come on, bro. You're a Viper. You get instant heat, motherfucker.
You get instant heat. Yeah, you get instant heat when you RKO a woman or something like that. When you kill a legend, you get instant heat.
Fabulous Moolah, you'll get some heat. Okay, let's move on to Chris now, because he's going back and forth like jumping like this, like Mankind or whatever. He's doing this like Mankind.
Make him angry.
Come on, Chris.
Right. Okay.
And now,
So-
ladies and gentlemen, the man who calls Charlotte a cunt.
That would be me. But do you really want to go there with me again?
No,
That was
no,
not.
man,
That was not
influence
me.
they got him.
That was
it's
not
a
me.
joke, bro.
Ask,
It's a joke, bro.
ask Leduc. Ask Leduc. I chewed him a new one the other day.
You get a bunch of material on me. I got to use the material I have on you.
Okay, so here's the whole thing about the WWE product as a whole, yet again, and this is the same exact bullshit that I feel that we are beating a dead horse. We really are. We are spinning our wheels, and it's going absolutely nowhere. The problem with the WWE, and for me personally, I don't really care about the ratings. I care about the quality of the product. If you want your product to go back up, okay, as far as this whole brand split things goes, I say, why not go back to basics, okay? I was watching, going back to the old school style of doing things. In terms of, number one, you get rid of your damn GMs, okay? Fire that position, get rid of it. You don't need it, okay? And appoint one person to be like a president, okay, or a CEO that will be like that old school Jack Tunney days where President Jack Tunney, would go on TV and say, because of the actions of said person, we're going to have this title match at WrestleMania, or just as an example, okay? Number two, you cut the bullshit with with all these damn pay-per-views, okay? Here's what you do. You started at Royal Rumble, and then the following month you give, like Raw or SmackDown, one pay-per-view. In March, you have, again, another Raw or SmackDown pay-per-view. Beginning of April, or in the middle of April, you have WrestleMania. You see what I mean? And have like Royal Rumble and have WrestleMania be a combined show, like what they used to do. And then, and this is what's going to happen. You leave at least 8 weeks in between, 7 to 8 weeks in between, for your Raw pay-per-view to your SmackDown pay-per-view, so that way you have more time to build your quality stories. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, though. They can't do that anymore.
And you don't overload your stories. You go back to basics. You do a promo, you do a run-in, you do a match, whatever. You do some kind of face-to-face interaction, okay? And instead of doing like contract signings in the middle of the ring, you have it done in the middle of like the person that's your president in an office area, and it's always expected and predictable that when you do it in the ring, something's going to happen, okay? It's getting lame. It's getting stupid. Monday Night Raw, there is no reason anymore to have Monday Night Raw at 3 hours, okay? You don't have to do that. And then you take away one of the women's titles and one of the tag team titles, and you have the champions on both shows. Make appearances on both shows, which is why, like I said that since the beginning. And so if you go back to basics, you go back to the drawing board, you cut down your pay-per-views, you cut down all this shit, this unneeded, unnecessary bullshit that you don't need, you'll have a better product overall, okay? Because everything right now seems so fast and so forced down your throat, okay? And like with I can back Simon up on this one. You build your characters up. We don't, as a WWE, we don't have like, these major baby faces. You don't have even any major heels. I was thinking about this. Every single person is an in-betweenie. I can only think of one person that I can think that might be a legit heel, and that's Charlotte. Okay, the antics that she does, the stuff that she does, says pure heel. Okay, but everybody else is a damn in-betweenie. Okay, you don't have like the major baby faces like your Hogans, your Warriors anymore. You know, you don't have like your major heels anymore. You know, like when I think of heel, I think of somebody that I want to hate. Okay, and let me give you an example. When Rusev first came in to the main roster and he was talking shit about the United States, that is a legit heel. Okay, you don't, for your wrestlers to do their promos, you don't go by a script. You let them talk, okay? Let them have some true, honest to God feeling going into it. It'll make it so much better, okay? Because WWE and the writing staff and Kevin Dunn are writing scripts for a lot of these wrestlers. Don't do that. Cut that middleman out. Let them go in there. Let them strike raw emotion, okay? Let them do their thing, okay? Kind of like how they allowed CM Punk to do it in his pipe bomb. He was getting a lot of legit shit off his chest. So with all this being said, you'll have a better product, but the WWE will never go to that because they'd be too nervous to do it. Because on one hand, they do have television writers writing this shit that know nothing about wrestling, okay? They know, you know, I'd be the least bit surprised if they could even name one match from WrestleMania 3. You know?
Macho Man versus Ricky Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat.
Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
So, yeah, and that's what I mean. These people probably couldn't name a match from that time period, you know? And so it's just one of those things that's gone completely stupid side up. And, you know, that's, you know, really all I got. Everything now is just so...
It's all bullshit.
Too much. It's too much.
But
you know? Well, I mean, if NXT has that right formula, I'm sorry. NXT has that right formula.
We do, yeah.
All right, can I interrupt right now, or do you need to keep going for another 15 minutes? No offense.
I let you guys talk. I sat here and shut up the whole damn time. So, you know what? Go have that. But I had to get everything off my chest.
All right, good.
I bet it feels really good, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now it's
Now it's Page guys.
Yeah. The thing with going back to basics, a lot of stuff could work, but like, for example, you mentioned let people speak instead of giving them scripts. I wouldn't trust half of the people on the roster, for example, the Performance Center, people like, people that don't have independent experience to actually speak from the heart. Guys like Kevin Owens, guys like Seth, I know they can cut promos off the top of their heads. But people like, and again, I'm going to get shit for this, but Charlotte, like, she's a product of the Performance Center, so I wouldn't trust her to go out there, and I would tell her, all right, we're going to give you 15 minutes of airtime and a mic. Go do your magic. I wouldn't. As for major heels and major faces, the thing is that to me, it's always a lot of these guys like Kevin Owens, who's trying so hard to be hated. He's trying so hard to get people to boo him, but he's, as you said once, and this is something Chris said, he's an indie darling. He's an indie guy. People are like, oh, I remember this guy when he used to wrestle in a bingo hall in front of like 200 people. Now he's wrestling in a sold-out arena in Charlotte, North Carolina, in front of 15,000 people. People are going to cheer him, even if he just flips them all off and calls them a whole bunch of hillbilly rednecks. They'll still cheer him. Because people are like that now. People almost don't buy into the characters anymore. And that could be something of a thing behind creative. This could be creative just phoning it in, not putting effort into making the characters be hated or making the characters be loved. Honestly, right now, one of the top faces right now, to me, is Bayley. Bayley, of course I'm bringing up NXT, but Bayley in NXT, she could do no wrong. She could do no wrong. You put her in WWE, and she's still getting probably the best reaction of the night when it comes to faces. She's the one that actually gets cheers and not cricket silence or a bunch of boos or like chants or whatever. She's actually someone getting a reaction.
Okay.
And that, Simon, no, pas tout de suite. Plus tard. Too tard for you.
Well, who told you, I guess.
Let me go for another 10 minutes now. My point is,
I created a monster.
My point is, a lot of these things, with a lot of like the stuff you said, Chris, I agree with some of it. But there's some of it I wouldn't trust to have the talent in that locker room to be able to do it. The stuff like doing the promos from the top of your head. I'm sure, a lot of people could prove me wrong, but I bet one or two would prove me right. The characters, David always says, blame the David. I say blame the internet. Blame the independents. Don't blame the creative. Or really, creative could put a lot more effort in it. Yeah, that's my point. Simon, go ahead.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say was I wasn't going to go for another 10 minutes, but that my biggest thing that I wanted to say is one of the biggest thing that pisses me off is how they're not on point and they're not listening to their audience. And they weren't even doing that back in the day, and they're not doing it now. It's just unbelievable. Like the thing with like Seth Rollins when he came back, you know what I mean? He was over as a face. The next night they had him cut a promo. Are you fucking serious? And then a month later you try to turn him face and everybody's like, oh, now you want him face? Because I want him face like a couple weeks ago when he was hot as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? So that's just the thing. And when you have Triple H come out, and you have him not come out for another fucking 6 weeks, like little details like that it's insulting my intelligence. You know what I mean? And it's little details like that I'm watching and I'm like, the fuck? Why am I paying attention to this? Why am I even watching? You know what I mean? And I feel like it's the same way with as Page Guy when Monday comes. You know what I mean? Yay, Monday! I'm glad it's Monday. It's my weekend personally. But I'm like, oh, there's Raw tonight, so I have this 3 hours where that's what I got to pay attention to. Yay.
Well, that's why, I'll be so glad. Now, I know I don't watch Monday Night Raw. I'll watch it most times on Hulu. But, for me, I'll be happy on October the 10th, 2016, when Supergirl comes back on the air. On this coming up Tuesday night, we've got the return of The Flash. We have, on Wednesday night, the return of Arrow. And
everything pretty much.
I don't know when DC Legends of Tomorrow is supposed to come back. I think it's supposed to. I don't know if it's supposed to be back on Thursday or what. Mitchell might know when that's coming back. But
in the comments.
But the thing I was going to say about the whole doing interviews at the top of your head with raw feeling. The problem too, that I wanted to mention was that WWE needs to push the envelope with people, okay? Because that's one thing they're not doing. They're not pushing the envelope. They're not letting heels be heels. They're kind of just there, and I think there is a part of with what Rafael Leduc was just saying is the thing is, ever since Stone Cold, people love the heels. A lot of people love the heels. And the faces are the ones that get booed. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, one real quick thing, is to stop having Mick Foley run his mouth on Twitter about the fans. And, because he talked shit about the fans that didn't like the look of the Universal title. Now he's telling people over Twitter to pretty much kiss his arse, because people didn't like the way that the Cesaro and Sheamus match ended, But the thing is that he doesn't realize.
Not everyone's gonna.
Not everyone's gonna like it. Not everyone's gonna agree. People have a right to their opinion, and if he doesn't like people's opinion, then he needs to get the hell out of the damn business. I'm sorry. That's the damn truth.
One thing that you gotta admit is, like, for the Universal title, sure, you know what I mean? People have right to complain because, let's face it, the first reaction we had was, oh, it looks like shit. When it comes to the Cesaro-Sheamus finish, it's a matter of opinion. A lot of people are going to love it. A lot of people are going to hate it. I was a fan. I was like, okay, finally this matters. The outcome, even though we've had like 7 weeks of pure wrestling, and that's all that was. It wasn't really that relevant. At the end, you found yourself caring as to what's going to happen next, and then you have them being put in the tag team. That's whatever.
It's like they're putting it all.
But
we'll see like later on.
Foley has to stop defending the WWE creative. He has to stop being like, because one thing you gotta admit, his son isn't creative, so that's one thing. But
yeah.
you have to just to a certain point say, okay, so Mick, you're behind the camera. You don't know what it's like to be, in front of the TV watching this anymore. You know what I mean? And you have your own opinion of the product, but you're looking at it from the inside, not from the outside, like we all do. There's a certain point where it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Another
thing too, titles is like no really that much creativity besides the cruiserweight title, which they actually had a really cool look to it. I give them that and stuff.
Like shit.
It looks
like
good.
Cup shit.
It's
good.
You know what? It's very basic, but while it's not.
It's not like how the other ones.
Yeah, while it's not the most polished title ever, the one thing, and I'll go back to this, that the one thing that these things do, the titles, okay, I mean, you can have that thing looking like, like one of these damn things that I have on the floor, where it's just
yours look better.
Thank you.
It's not like in the hot seat.
But in all seriousness, like for me, I'm seeing ever since this guy named Tubby Emu made his video about the titles, it really is like about the enjoyment of the people that actually win them, rather than what they actually look like. Now, yes, I'm still a fan of how belts look, but at the same time, I can relax a little bit and say, you know what? Yeah, Becky Lynch won the SmackDown Women's title. Now, even though that SmackDown Women's title looks the same as the Raw one and the Universal Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm still happy for Becky, the fact that she won, and I'm ecstatic. And I'm ecstatic about like Kevin Owens being the Universal Champion. Now, do I like the name Universal Champion? No, but I mean it is what it is,
Right. Yeah, I think for the most part we pretty much touched bases on everything that's been going on. Like, we'll see what happens when it comes to like our series. I know that's going to be a big weekend now and everything, trying to make that more better. Of course, they got the NXT show that weekend and everything, so that's cool they're doing something like that.
It should have been in Montreal, WWE.
I'm surprised. Yeah, it should have been.
Because one guy can't get to Toronto.
Oh, it makes 2 of us, motherfucker.
Yeah, for now.
That's crazy. Hopefully, you guys will get another show. I don't know when the next show is, though.
Well, next year it's the 20-year anniversary of the Screwjob, so they have to do it in Montreal.
Yeah.
If they don't, it's just like.
If they don't, we'll burn down every arena in America.
Yeah. Seriously, this year we were fucking the ass when it comes to WWE. Honestly, Like we had one show in one house show in March. Really? Did
Yeah,
you forget
Me and
about
Chris
us?
got spoiled.
Your fucking world universal, whatever the fuck it's called. Your universal champion is from here,
And
and
one
you
of your
do
biggest
not have.
stars
Yeah,
is from here too.
one of your biggest stars. You know what I mean? Is from fucking here, and you don't have a show here.
One of
Sami
your
Zayn, Sami
Yeah.
Zayn, motherfucker. He's from here, and you don't have a show here, motherfucker. Like what the hell? Pat Patterson just came out with a brand new book. He ain't
your
there.
book.
Come on, nigga.
He
What the
promoted
hell?
well. He can promote it and everything else in between.
I know it.
Yeah,
Go
but
figure,
instead
David.
they put Raw in fucking Charlotte for some reason.
Twice, three,
Yep.
four times in a year. Come on, bro.
Yeah, and that's the same weekend.
Forget
David
about
and I are
us?
Going, yeah, David and I are going to the
Yep.
house show in Fayetteville the night before. And
Yeah, you guys get the
Yeah.
SmackDown run.
dude,
Yo.
we,
Show.
we've
Yo.
had
Page guy,
We've
page
had-
guy. If they announce a house show by the end of the year, are you going?
There's no house show by the end of the year, so no. They
They
still
don't-
haven't
you don't
announced
think-
shit. All the live shows have been booked already. At the
Really?
end of the year, most live shows are taking place in around New York, and the Raw at the end of the year is in Chicago, which is stupid. The thing about having two shows in one building is fucking stupid. In October, they have Raw and SmackDown booked at the Pep Center in Denver.
Yeah,
In
they do that
November,
a
they
lot.
have Raw and SmackDown booked at the SSE Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. And then for
Scotland.
December,
They should
and-
at least have it as like one super show.
if it's
Yeah,
not
and
then-
Scottish, it's crap.
and then in December they have the final Raw and SmackDown of the year in fucking Chicago. Like, I get Chicago's a wrestling city, but for fuck's sake, they get so much shit, and all they do is boo or chant CM Punk. Bring it to Montreal, where we actually enjoy the shit, where we actually boo heels or cheer faces, where you actually have people that will like your superstars, where you will actually have Simon standing with a sign saying Charlotte's biggest fan, and I'll stand with a sign saying Charlotte's biggest hater. You know?
One thing I will say, I said before, for us especially, Fayetteville and Raleigh needs a Raw or SmackDown or a pay-per-view. We've been getting house shows lately. As fun as they are, though.
Yeah,
do
I mean
need
that's
some
the thing.
TV.
I mean, we've had this will be our third house show we go to
Yeah.
in this year.
Yes, it's there.
You know, actually fourth. Well, really fourth.
Yeah,
because if we're
3 to
counting-
4.
If we're counting the year,
Yeah.
then the house show it was a house show in Fayetteville back last
Right.
November. So it's like WTF,
Mhm.
we're getting nothing but house shows. Granted, I don't mind them, but it'd be nice to go to a Raw, a SmackDown, or hell, put NXT at the Crown Complex. You know?
Well, did they go to North Carolina a while back? Or did they go down to South Carolina? And there goes Simon. They went to South
Actually-
Carolina, I think, a while back. I know they went to... And yeah, they were in Concord the other day. They were at the arena where they did Bound for Glory last year.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's right.
So
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but I'm sorry, Chris. I know I keep interrupting you, and soon you're going to want to kill me. But look at the pay-per-views the last couple of years. They always have them in big markets like New York, like Philadelphia, like Chicago, L.A., Dallas. You know, they have them in these markets so big that markets like Raleigh, Charlotte, hell, I don't know when was the last time they had a pay-per-view in Denver. You know, of course they have Raw and SmackDown, but they haven't had a pay-per-view in Denver in forever. Toronto hasn't had a pay-per-view since 2006, and that was Unforgiven.
Yeah,
Raleigh
we haven't had a pay-per-view here since 1999 because in SummerSlam.
No, wait, I think there was over the limit.
99.
Yeah, it was over the limit in 2012.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
really? Oh, I didn't even know that.
At the I think at the time it was still the RBC. I think it was still the RBC arena when Over the Limit came by. But it's always been in these big markets. So, look, we can keep talking for a while, but I know David might have one more topic to go. My mama's about to go to bed, so I'm gonna have to shut the fuck up. So,
Actually, that pretty much does it with all the topics that I did have. I know we kind of lost Simon there, probably pop up and everything, but as always, it's been awesome to move on. So we'll go ahead.
Get out of the mix.
Yeah.
All right,
But
final
yeah,
thoughts?
we'll go ahead as always with the promotions and all that cheap pop plugs and so much more, and all that stuff. With Mr. Leduc, you're welcome to do that before we end off with the show here. All
right, so make sure to subscribe to the Rafael Leduc channel, page guy / Bailey guy / Anti-Eva guy. I'm going to have some stuff from No Mercy and UFC 204 that's coming up on there. Also going to have a lot of content from WWE 2K17 when it comes out October 11th. Make sure to check out my channel for some broadcasts and check out the Fortminder Gaming channel for more content on WWE video games. With all that said, make sure to subscribe. And Charlotte's a cunt. Off to you, Chris.
Wow.
One day.
Good Lord.
You will learn to like Charlotte. At least for that one night.
Yeah, we'll beat it into him.
You'll
have to beat it into him.
I'll come down with a shotgun. Try being it into me.
Well, we won't do that, but anyway, go ahead.
You'll force me to watch like all her matches.
At any rate, though, yeah, Boston Fans 79, V1 all around the board. I mean, Jesus Christ. YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, even though I haven't used that pile of junk in a long time. VidMe, Instagram, all that good shit. So
Jesus, you're on everything.
I am on everything.
Besides PlayStation. We got to get you on PlayStation so we can play WWE games and video games with you.
Well, buy me a PlayStation and a game and I'll do just that.
All right. So as for me, of course, you know me on the Fortminorproject channel. You already heard the Fortminor Gaming channel. Of course, with Twitter and Instagram.
During his plug.
So how to do that?
We just lost David during his plug.
Yeah, this has been fun. First in the hot seat in a while. Hopefully, we'll definitely do some more, especially in November once Chris comes back and everything for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. But until then, see you guys in the next one. Whatever the hell that may be.
Yep. Peace out.